8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is a news edited by Romesh Piris and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. Isolation orders on several areas in Colombo and Kampala districts to be lifted from tomorrow morning. More trains to operate from tomorrow. COVID-19 recoveries recorded in the country on the increase. Surakyamu Ganga project to commence on 2nd February. The Foreign Secretary says 68,000 Sri Lankans awaiting return. News overseas, the US Senate control and Biden's agenda at stake as Georgia runoff elections loom. In sports cricket, Andrich Noche 6 wickets blow Sri Lanka away despite Kusal Pereira's fight. And those are the headlines. The National Operations Centre for Prevention of COVID-19 Outbreak Head General Shavindra Silva says isolation orders on several areas in Colombo and Kampala districts will be lifted from tomorrow morning. Accordingly, the following areas will no longer be under isolation from 5 a.m. tomorrow. Colombo District, Modara Police Division, Keselwatta Police Division, Alutkade West and Alutkade East Grama Niladhari Divisions, Vanatamula Grama Niladhari Division of Borella Police Division, Demalavatta Pitakote Grama Niladhari Division of Mirihana Police Division, Gampara District, Paligoda Police Division, Paligoda and Migahavatta Grama Niladhari Division, Rohan Vihar Road area of Pattiya North Grama Niladhari Division, and Puranakottu Vatta areas of Paligoda Ganagabada Grama Niladhari Division. Kiribati Police Division, Sri Jayanti Mawati area of Vilegoda North Grama Niladhari Division. Areas declared as isolated in the remaining districts will continue to remain under isolation until further notice. Another 188 individuals have tested positive for COVID-19, increasing the number of cases recorded in the country to 44,774. Meanwhile, the number of COVID-19 recoveries recorded in the country increased to 37,252 after 535 COVID-19 patients recovered and were discharged from hospitals during the past 24 hours. 7,311, including 3 foreign nationals, are currently receiving treatment for coronavirus at 63 facilities across the country. 436 suspected cases are also under medical observation. The tally of the fatalities in the country due to the pandemic increased to 211. Measures have been taken to commence the Surakyamu Ganga project covering all 103 rivers in the country on the 2nd of February in line with the World Wetlands Day. 200 million rupees has been set aside for this purpose this year. The Ministry of Environment said 32 billion rupees is expected to be spent on the project. A secretariat is due to be established within the Ministry of Environment premises for coordination and operational activities of the project. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Foreign Secretary, Admiral Jayanath Columbage, says approximately 68,000 Sri Lankans overseas have been on the waiting list by the Foreign Ministry for repatriation. He said that as the conditions abroad deteriorate and due to the large number of layoffs and other causes of unemployment, the number of prospective returnees keeps rising. The Foreign Secretary Columbage says the latest fortnightly schedule of flights finalized to be operated between 2nd and 9th January will include 1,400 passengers from Chennai, Melbourne, Kuwait, Doha, Canada, Cyprus and Dubai. The National Operations Centre for Prevention of COVID-19 Outbreak said another group of expatriates from the UAE, Maldives, Australia, Japan and Qatar were brought to the island this morning. Accordingly, 181 expatriates arrived in the island and all of them were sent to quarantine centres managed by Triforces and for necessary quarantine process. All returnees have been subjected to PCR testing at the airport premises. The police spokesman, DIG Ajit Rohana, says approximately 90,000 persons have been ordered to follow quarantine procedures at their residence as of today. He said police areas including Kathankudi, Avisavella and Ruwanwella are under isolation. He added that no inmate of the isolated areas will be allowed to leave and no outsider will be allowed to enter those areas. The DIG further said that those who disobey the orders will be dealt with quarantine law. And that's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The Sri Lanka Railway Stations Masters Union says Railways Department has decided to increase the number of train services operating on all lines with effective from tomorrow. They said 64 train services on the main line, 74 train services along the coastal line, 12 on the Kalani Valley line, 6 trains on the northern line and 26 trains on the Puttalam line will run during the week from tomorrow. And that's main news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
In Watchlight, several tourist attractions in Sigiriya and Polonnaruwa will be closed for local tourists on January 4th and 5th after 12 p.m. as the Ukrainian tourists are scheduled to visit those locations. The Central Cultural Fund said in a statement several locations in the Polonnaruwa tourist zone managed by the fund such as Parakrama Palace Complex, Dalada Oluwa, Shiva Devalaya No. 2, Rankot Vihara, Lanka Tilaka Vihara, Kiri Vihara, Gal Viharaya, Tivanka Image House and Lotus Pond will not entertain local tourists on January 4th after 1 p.m. Meanwhile, the Sigiriya tourism zone will be closed after 12 p.m. on January 4th. And that's Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines. The U.S. Senate control and Biden's agenda at stake as the Georgia runoff elections loom. Democratic Republic of Congo pardons 2 men over President Kabila assassination. Execution date for the only woman on federal death row is reinstated. And those are the headlines. The control of the U.S. Senate and with it the likely fate of President-elect Joe Biden's legislative agenda will be on the ballot on Tuesday when voters in Georgia decide twin runoff elections. The high-stakes campaign that has unfolded since November 3rd, when Biden defeated President Donald Trump in the presidential election, has been spending records and spurred unprecedented turnout. Political groups have flooded the southern state with a tsunami of television advertising. Both Biden, a Democrat, and Trump, a Republican, will visit tomorrow, underscoring the political stakes of the contest. 2 men convicted over assassination of the Democratic Republic of Congo's President Laurent Kabila 20 years ago have been pardoned. Although Mr. Kabila was shot by his bodyguard, 2 of his senior officials were implicated in the killing. President Felix Tshisekedi committed their death sentences last June. The pardon comes amid a rift between Mr. Tshisekedi and his predecessor. A group of 3 judges on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled Friday that a lower court judge was wrong when he vacated an execution date for Lisa Montgomery, the only woman on federal death row reinstating an execution date later this month. She's now scheduled to be executed just before the inauguration of the President-elect Joe Biden. The Trump administration has overseen 10 federal executions in the final months of his presidency. And that's World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In development news, the Minister of Ports and Shipping, Rohit Abe Gunawardena, says the government is prepared to provide opportunities to local and foreign businessmen to invest in the East Container Terminal of the Colombo Port. Minister Abe Gunawardena said the government will retain 51% of the stake and is open to accept external investments to develop the port. And that's development news. In sports, on the first day's play of the final test, Sri Lanka won the toss and chose to bat first on a green pitch at the Wanderers. They made 4 changes to their side, all of them forced by injury. Meanwhile, South Africa kept the same team after the convincing win in the first test. Sri Lanka were all out for 157 in their first innings after 40.3 overs. Kusal Pereira made 60 before being caught by Markham of Mulder. Henry Chunoche and Wiam Mulder ripped through Lankan batting order, capturing 6 and 3 wickets respectively. Short while ago, South Africa in reply were 105 for 1 wicket, trailing by 52 runs with Rassie van Dersen and Dean Elgar at the crease. Meanwhile, at stumps on the first day's play of the second test in Christchurch, where Pakistan tour of New Zealand. Pakistan were all out for 297 runs in their first innings after 83.5 overs. Azhar Ali made 93 and Mohammad Rizwan 61. On the bowling front for the New Zealand, Kyle Jamieson took 5 wickets. Tim Southee and Trent Boult shared 2 wickets each. And that's sports news. And in business news, Lifebuoy, through yet another far-reaching initiative to combat the effects of COVID-19 pandemic, pledged its support to all teachers engaged island-wide in AL examination paper marking by donating much-needed hygiene protection. Sufficient stocks of a Lifebuoy hand sanitizer were presented to the Minister of Education at the Ministry of Education premises. And that's business news.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. When will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
A public-private partnership that has been approved by the Sri Lankan government to carry out new crew changes through an offshore crew transit hub positioned off the port of Galle. Sri Lanka is one of the few countries that has already appointed a national focal point on crew changes and repatriation of seafarer, as invited by the International Maritime Organization in its resolution. Sri Lanka lies at the center of the Indian Ocean, one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, which, coupled with regular flight connectivity to most parts of the world, has made this small island ideal for crew changes. The whole process has been led by the government and Avant-Garde Maritime Services, a maritime security firm. And that's economic news.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
No, Amma. We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
Oh, really? How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy. She might be feeling very uncomfortable. The airport must be heavily crowded because it's a season.
Amma, calm down. Everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. There's nothing to worry.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Finally, in the weather report, the Met Department says a showery weather over the northern and eastern parts of the island is expected to enhance due to the atmospheric disturbance in the vicinity of Sri Lanka during the next few days. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the northern, eastern, north-central Uva and central provinces and in the Hambantota district. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the eastern and Uva provinces and in Polonnaruwa, Matale and Nuwara districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere in the evening. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Sabarkama province and in Kalathara, Gaul and Matara districts. Before we wind up this news podcast, let's look at the main points once again. Isolation orders on several areas in Colombo and Gampar districts to be lifted from tomorrow morning. More trains to operate from tomorrow. COVID-19 recoveries recorded in the country is on the increase. Surakimu Ganga project to commence on February 2nd. The Foreign Secretary says 68,000 Sri Lankans awaiting return. And with that, we conclude this news podcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And it's back to Mario Vijayavardhana to keep you company with the rest of the programs this Sunday evening. Over to you, Mario.